Hi guys, and welcome to my thoughts and opinions towards Monday Night Raw. I'm your host Gavin, and it's pleasure always gives you honesty towards professional wrestling. Yes, you the viewer at home. Are you one of the 17 that has hit the subscribe button? If not, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, please do. And obviously interact with me in the comments below. Yeah, I can actually announce I've hit 17 subscribers. Out of nowhere. I can't believe it, guys. You know, you came to the right place. You keep hitting that subscribe button. You keep hitting that bell icon. Can't stress you enough. And get notified anytime when I do any videos. I get excited when I get a new subscriber. And thank you ever so much for all my subscribers that I've gained already. Now, I just want to say this with my thoughts and opinions going into this Monday Night Raw. I was debating whether to watch it live or wait till tomorrow. But end of the day, at the moment, I've got nothing else to do. You know, and I'm grateful that I actually want to watch a bit of wrestling, you know? Because at the end of the day, you look at the way Raw's been since WrestleMania. It's been absolutely crap. I'll actually say this. There was actually a few matches I did over the duration of the time of me watching Raw since Mania. There's somewhat okay, yeah, but it's been drizzling shits and so confusion and feeling weird. But then you go towards the bigger picture of it, and then SmackDown literally... bit more ASMR for you guys at home. You literally go into the bigger spectrum. You look at the way SmackDown delivered last Friday night, even though I spoke about it on the Saturday, because I can't be dealing with that music on the outbreaks. I don't know why when on Netflix we have that countdown towards obviously that filler where breaks are. You know, I thought Netflix had Raw everywhere on the likes of Monday Night Raw. But end of the day, it is what it is. But then when you look, the thing is with me, I never check out the card beforehand. I never do. I just go optimistic towards what we've got in front of us. You know, I just wait till the program starts because I don't look up the card because there's no point. You know, because it breaks that optical illusion what we know full well by watching wrestling for many, many years that it needs to be like that all the time, you know. And obviously, yeah, I know people have been talking about the match card and everything beforehand, doing pre-shows. I don't do that. I just wait until the card is actually confirmed when it starts, you know. And then we actually, when we look at the bigger spectrum of it all, and I'm literally thinking, the way they start off for Raw, with obviously Logan Paul coming out, then you got the likes of Gunther coming out saying to Logan Paul, "You disrespect me because you've disrespected the title and all this lot." And then next, before you know, you got like Jey Uso attacking Logan Paul at the end of that segment. It is what you get from them. Then we had a built-up technically match between obviously Judgment Day, and you've literally had Penta and AJ Styles thrown as a tag team match. I just want to point this out. You could have done this at the pay-per-view. The reason, or PLE, whatever you want to class it as, you've literally got fucking JD McDonagh and Finn Bálor. You knew for this was going to be a classic. Straight away, a classic opening match. You know, I'm hoping in a way, I know this sounds daft, but I'm hoping down the line, Lucha Brothers don't reform. Because the prime example, the way Penta and AJ Styles worked well together. You know, all of a sudden you put these in a main shift match. Yeah, fair enough. It's been built up, obviously, with the feud between Judgment Day and everything. Just like that. You know, there was a bit of a story to it over the weeks, granted. But I wouldn't mind this as a pay-per-view match. Then we actually had the one that really intrigued me the most, right? You got a new signee in Roxanne Perez. She's literally just signed for Monday Night Raw tonight. The same way you've done Julian to SmackDown last Friday out of nowhere, right? Like I was saying, you're building up these women with tag teams, and then all of a sudden you throw away a tag team that could have been potentially good for the women's tag team division if you're going to focus on that. But it's quite interesting how they actually put these women together. I really kind of enjoyed this match to a point. The ending, start with the freaking attacks. You know, it gets pointless and repetitive. You know, you have Lyra attacking Becky. Granted, they've got unfinished business with that feud and everything. But then all of a sudden you got Roxanne Perez getting putting over Natalya. And yet when you look at Natalya, yeah, fair enough, she's literally past it as such with the likes of WWE. But you could have easily brought in the entity towards what we've seen recently with NWA and the likes of GCW at Bloodsport. You could have brought that entity towards her. You know, obviously you're probably going to bring a story to bring that entity to her. Hopefully they do, because Natalya needs a new coat of paint as well as not a load of Botox like she's had. But, you know, and that would have been a lot of different entities to her. And I'm like, for freaking hell's sake, why are you doing these attack sort of things? You know, obviously at some point I was thinking, okay, Becky Lynch might win this. So literally, if Becky Lynch wins this and she goes in Money in the Bank, this will lead to Bayley attacking her. At some point, building up a triple threat between Bayley, Lyra, and Becky at some point, possibly. You know, I thought if Becky was going to win this, that I literally thought Bayley be the one that stops Bayley winning the title. But by the looks of it, they're going to continue on with the Lyra and Becky feud. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for that, because they actually held a clinic of the match, Backlash. Go check out my review on this very channel towards Backlash. But I'm really surprised the likes of Roxanne Perez literally got the victory in this. You know, and I tell you one thing, and I'll tell you this much for free. I feel like with the Money in the Bank situation, fair enough, you got Alexa Bliss already in it. I'll talk about the third participant in a minute. I want Money in the Bank to elevate the next future face of the brand. You know, they did it right with Tiffany Stratton, and that's just me being honest. They did it right for her. And I feel like they could have done that on the first episode of the likes of SmackDown on Netflix more than airing that episode on the likes of YouTube. You know, that's me being honest with you. At least one thing they did that right. I forget who won the males one last year, because that kind of overshadowed what the males did last year. But end of the day, it is what it is. Obviously, we've got Alexa Bliss, and now we've got Roxanne Perez in the Money in the Bank. It's quite fun to think in a way, because you've got two small women that are actually in the women's Money in the Bank. Are they going to be tall enough to reach the Money in the Bank? Obviously, Alexa Bliss won it in the past, but I digress on that. Then we had a backstage segment between Logan Paul and the likes of Seth Rollins. I think Logan Paul is going to be joining, if not Saturday main event, which I think he'll probably might be Saturday main event. Might be. I think Logan Paul is the one that's joining Seth Rollins and Bron Breakker with Paul Heyman. I've just got that inkling. I've got that feeling. Then you look at the likes of the next match we actually had with Grayson Waller and Sheamus. I think this was just a random comedy beatdown, which I don't feel like it added anything. It really didn't add anything, you know, towards anything whatsoever. I wasn't a fan of it. It just felt like Grayson Waller was working a lot of stiff. You could tell that the way Sheamus was looking a bit pissed off when he was taking some of the moves. You could tell he was giving him a lot of receipts back. And that, you literally could feel the tension between them two. It's not because they're in character, but the pounding that he literally got. I'm not a fan of Grayson Waller, and that's just me being honest. I feel like Austin Theory is being wasted as a tag team with him. You know, hopefully at one point they split up. I think Austin Theory should go back to being Austin Theory. You know, because obviously, yeah, fair enough, he was Vince McMahon's love child that was going to be taking over the likes of the WWE, and then all of a sudden he's thrown in the tag team with Grayson Waller. And I'm not... It is what it is, I guess. Then obviously we had the fucking waste of airtime, right? You're plugging a basketball player to wishing him good luck in a basketball game, yeah, fair enough. And then you plug in 2K25 download pack that you've been announced on it. What's this add to the show? I felt like this actually kind of lost the flow of the show. You could have easily done this on like the roundup or whatever they call it, their own version of basically what happened on Monday Night Raw. Or they could have easily put this on YouTube separately. You know, you didn't need to put a plug towards the video game that people are already playing. Hey, I haven't got it. I've got last year's. I'm happy with last year's at the moment. I haven't even got around to completing it yet. You know, because at the end of the day, there's no need to plug him on that one. Then we had the likes of Triple Threat Women's match. Rhea Ripley, Kairi Sane, and Zoey Starks. I want to actually say this. I know Kairi Sane, I can never pronounce her name. I do apologise. Literally, I know she's a vet in other wrestling companies. I know she's a veteran. Zoey Starks, she's still up and coming. Sadly, she got injured in this match. Get well soon. Hopefully, she's not re-injured her knee, so it had to go to a one-on-one match. You know, that was a bit disappointing to see the likes of Zoey Starks getting out injured. She looked like she re-injured her knees. This could actually I'm just saying, just the way she landed, it felt awkward when I saw it, and I literally thought, is this going to be the end? Led to her removing from basically the match. Hopefully it's not too serious to the point where she has to retire her career, you know. But, you know, you could tell in a way that Rhea Ripley was actually shocked about it, about her going out of the match, let alone winning the match. So I felt like Zoey was going to probably win that match. Or it could have been Kairi Sane winning that match, but they decided to change it to Rhea Ripley. I feel like they should have changed it to Rhea Ripley. I think they should have gone with the Kairi Sane side of things in the first place. Or obviously they couldn't go with Zoey Starks. They could have gave it to someone like Kairi. That, yeah, fair enough, she has been in Money in the Bank matches in the past, but it feels like we are getting her Rhea Ripley given to us on the plate once again towards being the Money in the Bank. And I feel like, I'm not being funny, no disrespect to Rhea Ripley, I do appreciate compliments to this contribution what she's done with the WWE, but I feel like that Rhea Ripley should have got that victory. You know, I feel like I've already said, I feel like they should have made it to where, how to put it, up and coming stars, or not ones that's actually had a chance or won it before. You know, that's what I feel like Money in the Bank should technically be all about. You know, and I literally feel like this, how to put it, right, this match was a non-title match. Main event, Jey Uso, who's the current world champion, adding to Bron Breakker. I literally thought, okay, how this is going to end. It ended in a disqualification. It was actually don't get me wrong, right? Don't get me wrong. It was a good way of making Bron Breakker looking strong without making him looking weak. But if he won the match, he wouldn't have won the title, so it would have been pointless anyway. If main event Jey Uso won the match, it would have been pointless anyway. I'm sick of the disqualifications. I'm sick of the run-ins, like I've already stressed many, many times. It grinds my gears that you give us such a good main event. The way they told a story in that match, don't get me wrong. But I'm sick of the stuff that they're doing with the likes of CM Punk doing a run-in. Sami Zayn doing a run-in. Yeah, you're building up the feud for Saturday main event. But you've literally put a non-title match. You know what Adam Pearce should have done? Came out and turned around and saying, I'm changing the rules. I'm changing everything what is put in place already. How about this? I put you in the title match of the main event of this Raw. Whoever wins that, whoever takes the title, goes on to Saturday Night main event, defends the title against the likes of Logan Paul. This is what they should have done, the way they should have done it. And whoever wins out of that match takes on Gunther at the next pay-per-view, which is, I think, Money in the Bank anyway. This is the problem where it lies, where you've literally put too many shows close together. That's what you could have done. Done it that way. But you didn't. You know? You could have done it so much better like that. Even though this way they've done it has elevated Bron Breakker massively. But the run-ins are getting tiresome. You know, how can literally you throw away a good match again as your main event, but you don't do anything that is decent? You know, at least one thing I would say it does make sense to do it as a disqualification match. I mean, disqualification at the end of the match. But it doesn't make any sense with the run-ins. It does to a point, don't get me wrong, but doesn't. Then at the end of the match, they're all brawling outside the ring, and then Logan Paul attacks main event Jey Uso. So whoever's still in attendance probably have literally got extra bits that we don't see on air, which will end up probably shared on social media. You know? Don't get me wrong, Raw was actually pretty decent. You know? It was decent at best. The other thing that really frustrates me, the way they're doing the New Day thing. Okay, fair enough, you're doing whatever. Then you got Tozawa facing Rusev next week. No one wants to see that crap. You know, it makes no sense, some of the shit they come out with. It gives me a migraine. Where in the right mind did people think Rusev will be rejoining the company and then being the drizzling shits that he is? You know? It's not doing anyone any favours, that. But it is what it is, I guess. I'm off, guys. It's just like 4 o'clock in the morning now. So I'm going to be uploading this. Obviously, you watched it. Tell me your thoughts in the comments. And I'll catch you guys soon for another video right here on Open Mic Night. And thank you ever so much for you guys that has hit that subscribe button. 17 of you already. Wow. Wow. You blow my mind. Thank you ever so much as always. Until next time. Catch you guys soon.